Evening to everyone. Obviously it's never nice, so it's disappointing not to have been able to get to a final, which would have been a massive achievement for us. I think knowing our results and the way the games have gone between ourselves and Sekhukhune, it was always going to be a tight game, and we've had 3 draws and a 1-0 loss. And that 1-0 loss, we missed a penalty late in the game to take it to a draw. So it's been tight affairs. You can see on the log table there's also 2 teams that are close to one another. So I thought we started the game really well, especially first half, I think. And that was our opportunity to get something. Sekhukhune are a type of team that they defend well, they defend in numbers, they experience defensively, they don't give you much space in behind. So you've got to try and get a lead against them to hopefully then let them come out and try and play a bit, and then you can then maybe on transition. So I thought we tried to play all the football. First half they just basically played it long off Siabi, picking up the second ball, trying to win flick-ons, and our only danger was really us making mistakes or not dealing with the aerial ball, or losing carelessly the ball in midfield, and then maybe they could be dangerous on transition. Otherwise, I thought we controlled the game, and we created some half chances. Second half, I think it became a bit of a 50-50 type game. I think we lost a bit of the control that we had in the first half, and then they were able to create some good chances themselves. So although it was a normal game, I thought that there was enough opportunities for both teams that there should have been a goal or 2 in it. It wasn't meant to be, and then obviously going into extra time, it's always that sort of team's a little bit cautious. You don't want to get sucker punched and go down, and then the game's over. So a game of some missed opportunities today, maybe just not as clinical in that final third. A couple of half moment chances that we were a little bit maybe unlucky that the ball didn't fall our way. And then obviously the penalty shootout is, we prepared well for that. We done our homework. I know the question will come, so I might as well answer it now. It was a predetermined decision. Lee Langeveld himself, suggested that Sage Steven be in goal for the penalty shootout. Obviously the keepers know each other's strengths. So Lee felt that would give us the best chance, hence that was the decision before the game. And the only thing that could have changed it is if we used all our subs and weren't able to. Just obviously well done to Sekhukhune. We wish them the best in the final. We wish both teams the best in the final. Both Pirates and Sekhukhune. Might be a big final and a good final for us to watch. Unfortunately, it wasn't our time this time.
Question at the back.
You can't hear me from there, Coach? Once again, unlucky, Coach. Not the ideal result for anybody based here. But if there's anything from this game that you can pick out, because I struggled a little bit, but maybe because I'm also for the result going positively for the local team. If there's anything you can point out and say, we got it wrong here, we got it wrong there, if this could have just gone right for us. Is there anything in tonight's game?
I think it's not always an easy question to answer directly after a loss. Obviously, one will have to go back and just analyze the game and see, certain situations where maybe we just should have done things better. I just felt that there were times where we just forced, the ball a little bit too early and too long in our passing, which got intercepted a number of times. I thought that if we just remained a bit calmer, took care of the ball a bit better, just kept moving the ball, eventually gaps would be created. So a little bit of maybe impatience in sort of the final and attacking third with the ball. We just needed to be a little bit more sort of confident and using the ball a lot better than what we did. It looked like the pitch is a little bit hard, a little bit greasy with the dew, which made it maybe a little bit difficult, players slipping and your first touch being a little bit maybe tested. So they're a team that don't give you much space to attack in behind, and obviously their lack of pace, they play a lot deeper, and that takes a lot of the strengths away from our team. So we knew that we would have to play well and have good combination plays in that final third, which we had our moments, but probably not enough of those moments. So in hindsight, that's probably an area that we needed to be a lot better at.
Hard luck. Thank you, Coach. Willie Massimin from CCFM and Disco Voice. Coach, hard luck. You talk about the long balls. Was it the call from the bench? Was it the plans to play the long balls, or was it the setup of the Sekhukhune that made the guys to play the long balls?
Yeah, I don't think we played like long ball football. I think that was them. Just in our build-up, and then when we would get the ball, we would then try and play our fullbacks too early. Whereas maybe one more pass would have then created the better chances and not have the ball intercepted. So it wasn't that. Yeah, obviously they do get numbers behind the ball in that, and sometimes when you play one way and it doesn't come off, maybe you try a little bit, but we just don't do enough of what we maybe had hoped to be doing on the night.
Good evening, Coach. I'd like once again for you from Newsroom Africa. I'm sure by now you have had the experience when you've got sort of like youngsters in a team. In a situation like this, they would really be hard done. What do you say to players like this, especially something that will serve as a reminder that there's still quite a long opportunity in their careers to still relive a moment like this? So be in a position like this, they still have the time. Like I said, I think you've got the experience as well when you look at it from the previous team.
Yeah, no, I think the message straight after the game was to the players that our time will come. And if you take, since in the ownership of the club, we've won promotion, we've won a district league, we've won the next gen tournament. We were unlucky not to progress to a semi-final of the MTN. We also lost on penalties against Chiefs. Now we're in a semi-final of a cup. So there's progress and opportunities will come. So there's two ways you look at this. You can look at it and grow from it and learn from it and make you even stronger going forward, and learn the lessons that from evenings like this that will just make us in next time in these opportunities maybe deal with it a lot better. So, or you can just be disappointed. So trust that we will take the first option, learn from it, grow from it. The young players, these are moments that it's experience building. It's the disappointment of losing, the disappointment of not making a final. And going forward, they'll remember those disappointments, and even work harder to turn that into positive. So, a lot of lessons learned. But again, when you've got players younger than 22, players like Jaden Adams, Ibrahim Jabbar, Devin Titus having won leagues with a club, gone to tournaments overseas. Our district team is traveling to India in a week's time for the next gen to go defend that trophy. Those experiences that they're gaining, hopefully one day we'll be in a position to be challenging on a regular basis for these type of trophies.
Since you're on the topic of young players, do you think that Makanya will be a potential contender for young players this season?
I do. I think that himself and Jaden Adams, the consistency that they've shown throughout the season, I do believe that they should be in the discussion. Definitely. Ashley Makanya, I played with Ashley Makanya. All the way to the way he's handled himself and grown and represented the country at national level and cemented his place in our team. The season he's had. It's only a matter of time before he is one of the best central defenders in our country. So yes, I would trust and believe that he would at least be in the discussion. Yes.
Coach, a miss by Reyners as well as Ortiz. What words of encouragement for them, especially obviously they're not as young as the younger players you mentioned?
Yeah, no. With Iki, he's got us into a position where we are in the log table as well as getting into the final, after the semi-final. The 6 goals that he scored have been massive for us to reach this stage. So, for him to miss, he's obviously devastated, disappointed. Ortiz, it's been a long journey for him. He was out for a year. He only had his first start midweek after the whole season out with injury. So, when he sort of missed the penalty, he's been a little bit sort of inconsolable. Obviously, you feel that you've let the team down. But, we can't, that's just not part of the way we speak as a club. Everybody's responsible, we're all together in it. And, we should have most likely have done a job in the 90 minutes or on the 120 and not allowed it to go to penalties, because that can become a 50-50 situation. So, Iki will learn from it. He gets his head up quickly, and Ortiz, we need to wake up tomorrow. We've got 2 big league games left. Top 8 now becomes a priority for us, so that it's not long away. August, September in TN8, we want to be there. We want to again be challenging for a trophy, so we've got to pick ourselves up quickly and make sure that we put in 2 big performances away to Maritzburg and Galaxy at home.
Go to the last 3 questions, please.
Coach, I know it's too early maybe to ask you this, because there's still something to achieve in the league, but can you chalk this down as you've said progress and all these milestones that you guys have achieved this year? But to maybe in layman's terms, for someone who's seeing Stellenbosch for the first time this season, would you chalk it down if they asked you, how do you feel about this season? Do you say, yeah, satisfied with how things turn?
Yeah, I do think so. I mean, it's days like this where the season either becomes great and special, make a final and finish top 8. And we didn't make the final, we've made a semi-final, and hopefully we can finish the top 8. And one has to look back and believe that it's turned out to be a decent season. We had a lot of changes at the beginning of the season, lost a lot of players. There was an intentional turnaround to have a 3-year cycle. So we believe that this team next season and the following season can again, take us even further than tonight and into a final, and hopefully, be consistently challenging in the top 6 on a regular basis. So right now, it's a goodish season. Finish top 8, it becomes a really good season. Don't finish top 8, then it becomes an average season.
Coach, with Paris in the final and almost secure CAF Champions League spot, and the other team in the final likely going to the CAF Confed Cup, does it feel like even a bigger blow, missing out on the tournament?
Yes, it does. Last season we missed out on goal difference and finished 4th goal difference, that we didn't get the CAF spot this year. Win tonight, I don't think it's mathematically done that Pirates finished 2nd, but most likely. So, it was a driving force for us, to get into a final, to be able to 1 game away from winning a trophy. We want to be doing that on a regular basis. And obviously the big incentive was that we could be playing in Africa, and we got to the final. It's one of the many disappointments. There's lots of things that one can say being in a final, what it does for a club, the rewards besides getting medals and prize money, and playing in Africa, taking on 1 more game for our fans and supporters. So it's hurtful that we did not advance.
3 studies. Okay,